Hi everyone, welcome back to JTV. I'm Annabel and I'm here in New York with the senior educator at Stand With Us, Charlotte Korchak, and we're here to talk about the recent events at Saturday Night Live where Dave Chapelle was the host and made a few anti-Semitic remarks in his monologue. So I'm here with Charlotte to discuss her thoughts about it.
I don't want to repeat what he said. I think if anyone wants to see what he said, they can go and see it for themselves. I think what is scary about what Dave Chapelle said is Dave Chapelle, to a certain extent, put Jews into a corner. We're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't, right? The response was, well, if you say something bad about Jews, they're going to retaliate against you, like what happened to Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. And he even ended by saying, I hope they don't do anything to me, whoever they are, which was obviously talking about the Jews. And so it's kind of like saying, so if the Jews stand up and say that what you said was anti-Semitic and problematic, and then something happens to you as a consequence, well, the Jews are in the wrong for doing it, not the person who said the anti-Semitic thing. The alternative is for us to not say anything, right? Which is essentially what he was trying to do. Silence us, right? Say, you shouldn't say anything because this is all just jokes and it's not a big deal. But maybe what Dave Chapelle was doing was jokes because he's a comedian and that's what he does. But what Kanye did was not a joke. It was very serious. It was meant seriously, and he even doubled down after, and he even tripled down after when he said, I said anti-Semitic shit. He said it. He said it outright. And when he was approached by the Jewish community to say, hey, what you said was kind of problematic. Can we talk about it? Can we maybe take you, to learn a little bit more about the Holocaust and the history of anti-Semitism? And he said, no. And he made some snide comment about, Planned Parenthood, which I don't care what your politics are. It's just when we make an offer to educate so that we don't want to cancel you. We don't believe in cancel culture. That's not what we're about. We want to give you the opportunity to correct what was being said, to learn that there's a history of anti-Semitism that starts with words, but usually doesn't end with words. And so Dave Chapelle taking it to this place of, well, we just can't talk about the Jews ever is, no, you can talk about Jews. You can talk about individual Jews and what individuals do. And if they do things that are wrong, you can talk about that, but then stop blaming all of the Jews for it. And when people do say anti-Semitic things, the Jews have every right to say that's anti-Semitic. The same way that if somebody said something against all Black people, people would say that's racist. And it's okay to say that. And yes, I think the proper response is education. Educating the person why it's problematic. But if the person says, I don't care, this is who I am, well, then they're going to have to unfortunately deal with the consequences of that. And the Jews were not responsible for Adidas deciding to drop Kanye. That was them deciding, I would hope from a moral place, that they don't want to work with somebody who has now admittedly said that he is an anti-Semite. And I think that's very fair of them. And so the fear of what Dave Chapelle did is putting Jews into this corner. If we call somebody out for it, it perpetuates anti-Semitism by saying the Jews have all the power and look at how they're going to punish you. Mm-hmm. If we don't say anything, then people just get away with saying anti-Semitic things. And again, I implore everyone, go out and learn some Jewish history, because Jewish history shows us that when anti-Semitism is repeated over and over again and people don't call it out or don't stop it, it ends with Jews being killed. There's no other way to cut it. And I take it seriously. As much as I want to laugh at his jokes, I take it seriously because I've studied too much the history of the Jewish people, and I've seen too many times how anti-Semitic words become the death of Jews. And I'm just trying to protect Jews. And so we just all need to get a little bit more educated on the history of anti-Semitism, well beyond just the Holocaust, because it's been an endless and relentless hatred towards the Jews for over 2,000 years. And it's dangerous.
I'm Annabelle, and you're watching JTV.